Hello, everybody, once again to the Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight, where we put the spotlight on inspiring business owners. We learn their stories and we share what drives their success. We are sponsored by Credit Bank, where you can get up to $500,000 in working capital with monthly payments really fast. I'm your host, Irv Cruz, and today I am joined by Anthony Franco, a fellow podcaster. He is the host of HowToFounder.com. Anthony, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Great. So I always start with everyone on the beginning. Why did you start HowToFounder.com?
Well, I mean that's an easy beginning. How did I start becoming an entrepreneur? I'm a serial entrepreneur. I started because I was unemployable. I couldn't hold a job.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So I've started and sold a bunch of businesses. How to Founder is really kind of a result of that journey of being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is really lonely, and also it's the only job where you're always presented with problems that you've never experienced before. And so me and my co-host, Chris Franks, we're really active here in the entrepreneurial community in Colorado and trying to expand it nationally. And we just recognize that we want to create a space where, one, it feels less lonely, and two, kind of help you think about problems that when something hits you for the first time, at least you have a mental model like, oh yeah, I heard about that on that podcast, or
right.
you can search it and we pop up like, here's what you do when an employee steals from you, or here's how to make your first hire, or what is a mission statement? And we kind of try to answer all of those questions on our podcast.
So as you know, most businesses, they develop to either address a problem or address a need. So what problem, solve a problem, excuse me. So what problem does your business solve, and who do you help the most?
Yeah, so we focus on entrepreneurs. That's our focus. We help fellow entrepreneurs, and we have two missions essentially. One is make it less lonely, and not take ourselves too seriously by doing that, and provide so every episode is a deep conversation on a single tactic or strategy for entrepreneurs. So it's educate, entertain, and make it less lonely.
And when you first came up with the idea for HowToFounder.com, what did you do to get the word out and market yourself? To let the masses know this is what we do and this is what differentiates us from anybody else in the space. Yeah,
so I kind of cheated.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so Chris and I have really big networks. So Chris and I both in combination have 30,000 folks that in our networks, both with the networks that we're part of here, meetups and stuff, and our LinkedIn profiles and such. So if I'm being really honest with myself, when we started building a big audience, so we're not trying to monetize it yet. So it's a terrible idea for a business, is we're going to start something, we don't really know how we're going to market it, and we're not sure how we're going to make money from it. Like not the best way to start something, right? But we have been leveraging our networks our existing networks to just grab an audience and experiment. So will we monetize it someday? Maybe, but it's more just because we have a passion for entrepreneurs. And
I understand you're involved in another business called Launch Partners. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so that business is it's essentially a consulting firm.
Okay.
And I help. I was put on this planet to help people launch, scale, and exit. So Launch Partners is kind of a manifestation of that. We help entrepreneurs with fractional C-suite executives. We help launch into new channels like Amazon. Like if you're a manufacturer and you want to launch a direct-to-consumer product, we help you with that. And then I help people exit their businesses. So I help founders grow into a new channel, and whatever that channel is.
Running a business, Anthony, has its challenges. So even from
Yeah.
the launch partner side and the howtofounder.com side, what would you say was your biggest hurdle in either one of those or both? And how did you overcome those hurdles?
I think for any founder, any entrepreneur starting a new business, it's sales. And if it's not sales, then you're thinking about it wrong.
Right. Because you're selling
right?
in any aspect, even if you're just
Sell-
selling yourself.
Exactly right. So yeah, if you don't think sales is a problem, then boy, are you going to get surprised pretty quick. And it's so profitable, growing profitable revenue, and having that mindset of you're always be closing is a great term, but you have to do that without commission breath.
Right. I'm very familiar with that expression. Commission breath. That's great.
So I turn it around a little bit by saying you always have to be talking to people and figuring out what their problems are, and if you can't solve it for them, then maybe you know somebody that can. So I think overcoming growing profitable revenue fundamentally comes down to, do you really care about serving the people that you're talking to?
Right.
Whether or not it's your business. It's like, how can I help you solve your problem? And maybe I can and maybe I can't, but I'm sure I know somebody who can. And just having that mindset really kind of, first of all, gets rid of the commission breath, I think, because you're really genuinely trying to help somebody. And second, you're always looking for product market fit. Like every conversation you're trying to figure out, can I help them? Can I not help them? And also discovering maybe I can't help them, but they're presenting me a problem that maybe I could eventually one day help them solve.
And for those that are not familiar with the term, let's do a little aside. Tell our audience exactly what commission breath is. So they can get that idea. Go ahead and share with them what that is so they're a little mindful of it going forward.
Yeah, I mean, commission breath.
You didn't know I was going to hit you with that one, huh?
It goes hand to hand with pitch slapping, right? So you've been on LinkedIn, you get a email that says a connection request, and then immediately they follow you up with a pitch. Like they don't even try to get to know you. It's like,
right.
Can you date me first? Commission breath is that I think it encapsulates that fundamental stereotype of used car salesman where you walk in and they're instantly on, they're instantly selling you, they're instantly they're looking at you as a wallet with money to extract. Yeah. And it's a vibe more than anything else. You can just kind of feel it on salespeople sometimes where it's just like, ooh, get away. You want to walk away from them and take a shower, right? That's commission breath.
Yeah. Especially even if the greeting just seems so plastic and it doesn't seem real. It's just, it's just a routine for them. And it's not something that's really like heartfelt and like, I really want to see what I can do to help these people. I'm just, oh, here I go again. Here's another customer. Let me just.
Yeah, they're immediately qualifying you, right? And then trying to sell you.
Yeah. So, Anthony, how long have both entities been in business?
So How to Founders, so they're both relatively new. So I exited my last business and kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. So both of them are less than a year. Well, Launch Partners is about a year and a month old. And How to Founder is 8 months old. So these are new ventures for me.
So share with us, what's been your proudest moment thus far?
Oh, gosh. I'm terrible at answering that kind of those questions.
There's got to be some, Anthony.
I'm enjoying serving clients one-on-one. It's unique for me because the other businesses I've scaled, they've been really big. And so now I get to have these connections with founders, deep connections, and really help them walk through problems and solutions. And then with Chris on How to Founder, I get to dive deep and talk to amazing people that bring perspectives on tactics and strategies for businesses that I've never thought of. So I guess the proudest moment was with launch partners is I've helped launch, 3 or 4 brands over the last year. That's been really exciting.
Right.
And brought revenue to small businesses that they never even thought that they had a chance of growing in a direct to consumer channel. And How to Founder, I'm just having fun. And I don't know if that I don't have any pride around that. I'm just having a great time with Chris. We tell stupid dad jokes and poke fun at each other and just have great guests on. So I guess it's just that we started. I guess my proudest moment with How to Founders, we actually started a podcast and we're sticking with it. So ask me in a year if that's still true.
That actually leads to my next question. Where do you see howtofounder.com in the next, let's say, 2 years?
Well, really fundamentally, we started it because Chris and I both wanted to write a book for founders. The problem with being an entrepreneur is, like I said, all the things that you hit you for the first time.
Right.
And I know I've come across, I've failed a lot more at things than most people actually get presented with over the last 30 years.
Right.
So I wanted to write a reference manual, like an encyclopedia of entrepreneurial tactics, and just write a chapter on each tactic or strategy. So when you get presented with something, you just flip to that chapter and you go, okay, how do I think about this before I dive in? And that seemed like writing a book seemed like a lot of work. It's 600-page encyclopedia style book. So I said, Chris, why don't we do that? But we do it as a podcast. And that's really so the end goal maybe is to take all these podcast episodes and turn it into a book, and then just grow it. Maybe we do things like we become a network for entrepreneurs to get to know one another. Maybe we do a conference. Maybe we do actually write that book and release it, or maybe we just. It's the first thing that I've started where I don't have a clear end game in mind.
Oh, so well, there's nothing wrong with that because the fun is in the challenge of trying.
It's the journey.
Yeah,
right. Exactly right. Yeah,
the challenge and the journey towards that end game, and there's a lot of things that can happen along the way, but you're fueled by your own passion, and that's what's going to get you through that journey. And I think that's an amazing thing. If you have the perfect resources and support in place, what would you change for your business tomorrow?
We have not been focused on growing an audience. We've just been focused on creating great content. And I think we're at a point now where I would probably, this would be the first time I've ever said these words out loud. I'd probably hire a coach to figure out how to monetize, how to grow our audience on the podcast. So the thing that I would do next is try to figure out from an expert who grows podcasts, how do we grow ours in a sustainable, real, authentic way?
That's great. Well, Anthony, it's been great learning about howtofounder.com. And for those who would love to connect with you, how would they find you?
Yeah, just actually, my LinkedIn is on that website, howtofounder.com. And then also, you can subscribe to any of our episodes on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, LinkedIn, all from that website. So that's the best place to get a hold of me.
You're all over, and that's a fantastic thing. Well, Anthony, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. To our listeners, if you've enjoyed this spotlight, please be sure to subscribe and tune in for more inspiring spotlights. I'm your host, Irv Cruz, and we'll see you on the next Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight. And Anthony, thank you once again. We wish you great success.
Thanks, Irv.
If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another exciting episode.